Welcome back, creatures of the night, to the first and last episode of the undercard look back at Undertaker's secondary championship victories as we take a look at Vengeance 2001, where the Undertaker faces Rob Van Dam in a hardcore rules match for the hardcore championship. And there is no better person to join me on this look back at this match than Randy Turco, who has been with me through all the steps of the way with the look back at the Undertaker's tag team championship victories. As we hit this little speed bump before we get to the look back at Undertaker's various gimmick matches. So Randy, I thank you for joining me here again today. How have you been this last month?
Good, excellent. Still cold here in Minnesota, still negative. The Weather Channel likes to give me alerts. I'm not kidding, every 2 hours to let me know it's still frigid outside. And I'm like, yeah, man, I know. I live in Minnesota. You don't have to let me know every 2 hours. But still cold here, but ready to go on this series. It's so funny. We're going to stop and do one match for the hardcore title. The undercard series is one match, and then we're going to get into the gimmick matches, which I think is going to take a very long time. So they're like the
Yes, we're gonna be very old men when we finish the gimmick matches. But hey, that's what keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting, kids to look at, because he's got a whole entire history of various gimmick matches, so we can intertwine so many different things in that. But this is a nice little break between the tag team titles and that whole cluster of library of gimmick matches beforehand. It's something that you weren't really thinking Undertaker would go after. It's not only an undercard championship, it's like the very undercard championship of the hardcore title. You would having, cruiserweights win this, upstart people coming into the company like Jerry Lynn, Rob Van Dam, Crash Holly winning this title. And then all of a sudden, the Undertaker wins the title.
Just think about it like the 24/7 title, like the Undertaker or somebody like Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar going after the 24/7 title,
Yeah, it's like that when they had Kane win the 24/7 title when they were in Memphis, Tennessee. It's like, why is Kane winning the 24/7 title? It's exactly like that. It's, Undertaker, the main event superstar. It's like giving like a sort of validity almost to this championship, so that whoever beats him, which will eventually be Maven, it gives almost like a sort of a rub to the championship and to the person that eventually beats him for this championship. So kind of we're looking a two-way street here with this title.
Absolutely. So before we dig in, do you got your phone? Are we ready to do some live eBaying maybe?
Of course, and this is something we were discussing off air. Tell the listeners what you found on eBay.
Yeah, well, we had talked about last month. We were going to discuss. Notice how there's no toys here and on our screens, because we were going to discuss that ringside exclusive WCW Tag Team Champion Undertaker. It was supposed to be here in early to mid-February. We thought, great, we'll hold off recording until very late mid-February, like almost the 20s. We'll hold off recording and we'll have the fig here and we can talk about it. And then we got the dreaded email that says it's not coming until April because it's off in production somewhere in maybe China. I don't know where it's at, but it's been delayed. So there's no toy to talk about. And I found on eBay,
smallest violin I can find.
Right. First world problems, right? My toy isn't here on time, but so I found on eBay, you and I had talked over Christmas with our light up sweaters about the Ginger Deadman ornaments that they've been putting out every year. And at first I thought, I don't want any part of these. These are dumb. So I didn't buy a lot of the early ones. And then a couple people bought ones for me. So I have some. And then the one this year I bought and it sold out. You told me it sold out for this year. It's gone already. I've seen a couple of those on eBay for $50. $50.
I know. I'm like, wow, I'm glad I got mine for $6.
Yes. Mine was $3 in shipping. So it's probably about $6. But yeah, so I did see on eBay, somebody posted the American Badass one, 2000 Undertaker with like the like the, I don't know, like the blue shirt, the blue denim shirt on, and the duster and the shades and the do-rag. So that Ginger Deadman, somebody posted quantity 2. So there's 2 available, and it's been about 2 weeks. It was $19.99, and they've since lowered it to $19.59. So thanks for the 50 cents, I guess, or the 40 cents. But it's also best offer. So I didn't know if on here, since we don't have a toy to talk about, I didn't know if we should maybe do a best offer right now at the kickoff of the show, and then maybe by the end of the hour, we'll have some news. You know.
Yeah. I when you told me this, I was totally down for it because this is one of the gingerbread men I am missing.
Me too.
Yeah, like I said, I have the original Undertaker, I have the Boneyard Snowman, and I have the Phantom mask that they released this year. I'm missing this one, and I think they released like a WrestleMania 28 edition when he has that full cloak.
Yes,
that's the other one I'm missing.
Yep, I'm missing that one too. So I'm keeping an eye out. I thought, as we've talked about, I thought that they would be a lot easier on eBay. People would just post them left and right, but it is not that at all.
Not at all. It is very difficult coming across any superstar, let alone the Undertaker. So I am ready to submit my offer. Are you?
Yeah, I think we should offer the same amount, so that way we're both going to get treated fairly and hopefully accepted both, because you can get rid of them now all in one swoop.
Yeah.
It's 1959. What do you think? Like 18, 17? What do you think?
I always start low because you can always work yourself up.
Sure.
So I'm going $14.99.
You're going $14.99? Okay. All right, let's see. I'll do it too. And then we'll do it together, and he'll have 2 offers for $14.99. He can get rid of them all tonight. Okay, I'm going to do it. Did you do it yet?
No.
1, 2, 3, go. Yep. It's sent.
All right. It's sent. We'll see what happens.
So we'll see if we get an update. If not, we'll do social media after, whenever we do get an update, but hopefully it'll be during the recording here. That'll be awesome.
That would be great if it's during the recording.
Heck yes. I've been watching this thing like a hawk, like just hoping nobody buys one, because we need 2.
I know. I was like, oh, come on, just last till Thursday. Last till Thursday we do this. But hopefully by the end of the episode, got some news on that. And the only other Undertaker news, I don't know if you saw this, Funko released a GameStop pre-order of the 1994 Purple Undertaker in the coffin.
I did see that. I saw that actually on your Twitter feed just not too long ago, and I thought, I'm not huge into Funko, but that is really cool how he's sitting in the coffin. So that's hard to ignore, you know?
It is. I only collect Undertaker Funko Pops because that is a slippery slope of a series, Funko Pops. And so I just do Undertaker, and I can't say no to an Undertaker Funko Pop, especially something as cute as him sitting in a coffin. I mean, it's just it's just begging to be pre-ordered eventually.
Pre-orders now, and then when does it come out?
March 30th is the expected date. Yeah, so about a month.
I'll have to mull it over. Trying not to spend a lot, getting a new house, trying not to spend a lot, but man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, $12. I think
not too bad.
Not too bad. I've seen them be worse.
We're spending more on these gingerbread men. So
that's very true. It's very true. So I guess we get right into this. Are you ready?
I am ready. Actually, I looked up really quick before we hit play.
Sure.
I didn't know this, but as I was researching this match, RVD and the Undertaker, and I probably knew it at the time and just forgot, they had a match for the hardcore title before this.
Ooh.
I didn't know that. They met on the Go Home Raw before Survivor Series 01. So they were doing the Invasion winner take all multi-man tag team match for the winner take all. And so that's November 12th Raw, and it's the go home for Survivor Series, and RVD defends against Undertaker. It was kind of like a cold match. There was no feud or anything. It was just kind of like Alliance guy, WWF guy, go for it. Trying to pump up that main event. And because it's a hardcore match, Taker kind of had RVD on the ropes, and then out came Booker T, his alliance mate, and it's legal, right? It's hardcore, 2-on-1. So they beat him up 2-on-1, and RVD hit the 5-star frog splash for the win and retained. But it was interesting that this is not their only hardcore title match. This is their second one, actually, about a month later.
About a month later, Undertaker seeks out revenge, as you can say.
Yes, and that was face Undertaker with long hair though, and as you'll see, this is
Ah,
face for tonight's match. Yes.
yes, yes. Quite the departure in the characters we're gonna see here, especially in this build-up, as you get to see Undertaker take a turn for the first time in at least 2.5, 3 years.
Right.
The Undertaker becomes a villain on WWF television.
He always knows when to, when to keep ahead of that curve. Just to
Oh
keep.
yeah,
He
yeah,
always knows.
yeah. Don't wanna ride the straight line too much. Got to mix it up a little.
Well, as he says, if you think you're boring, you're already boring to the fans because they're ahead of you. So if you think you might be stale, you're already stale.
Yeah, that's very good insight into a character.
Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. It's kept him relevant for 30 plus years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we are both queued up at 1 hour, 6 minutes, 9 seconds on the Peacock Network. And while you are ready, we shall get started. Countdown from 3, and we shall see The Undertaker take on Rob Van Dam for the hardcore title for the second time.
Yes.
So 3, 2, 1, play.
Perfect.
Yes.
So they're showing the package now that's basically showing Taker's heel turn, and he's talking about how he's been around a long time, and he's fought a lot of legends that have come and gone, and they've all kissed Vince's ass, and nobody's kissed his ass more than him.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to make JR kiss his ass, and JR says he's not going to kiss Vince's ass. So the Undertaker says, well, if you're not going to kiss his ass, are you better than me? And so Taker inexplicably beats up JR and makes him kiss Vince's ass.
Because if you ever want to become a heel, you just beat up JR.
Right, right. And there he goes, beating him up. And it's funny because, shoving somebody's face into Vince's bare ass is probably not something that would work in 2022.
And Vince slapping his ass with a cowboy hat. What an image to leave off Raw on.
Yes, and then Taker's going on this rampage of Taz and all these other superstars demanding respect. That's his thing, is I want respect, and he's beating it out of people, which eventually leads him to RVD.
Yeah.
There he is, beating him up on SmackDown. You gotta love that leather vest and black hoodie combo.
What a combo. I was gonna say, what a combo Undertaker chose for this. Black hoodie, black leather vest.
Yes. Taker talking here that RVD, that was his first lesson, going through that garbage can, and that vengeance he'll graduate with honors. That's like one of my favorite Taker lines.
And now we get a different look on Taker. For the first time ever, the Undertaker has short hair.
They're showing him with short hair, and this short hair would last for the rest of his American Badass days. So this is, you can see by Survivor Series 03 when Vince buries him, he's growing it. It's a little bit past his ear. You can tell he's trying to grow it back out because he's going to reemerge as the Deadman. But this short hair, this is it for the rest of the Biker Taker days.
Yeah, so it's so different. It's so different to see that sudden change here.
Yeah, he just got that haircut right before the pay-per-view. It looks 12/6/01, so 3 days before the payper-view, he debuts that haircut. Pretty cool.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, he does a lot on that SmackDown, it looked like. He attacked Van Dam, it looked like in the beginning he had a match, and then he gets attacked at the end.
I noticed here, Taker's barber sign. I love it.
People are always so on it.
They this if we had the volume up, you could hear Rollin. So Peacock so inconsistent. Rollin okay here, but it's not okay on some of the other pay-per-views.
Right? It's like okay on like 90% of it, but SummerSlam 2001, absolutely not.
Not okay.
Not okay.
Taker's wearing them glasses that when I ordered a bunch of American Badass stuff, Deadman Inc. stuff, and I thought I was getting them glasses, man. I thought that's what I was getting in the mail, and I ended up getting like these gas station pair of glasses that say Undertaker on the side.
Gas station pair of glasses.
I did not get those. I thought I was getting those.
But you're gonna be so cool with Undertaker style glasses.
Yeah, All American Kiss Ass. That's a good sign too. He is, by the way, I have to mention, I'm contractually obligated to mention he's wearing that hook on his pants, just so you know.
You are contractually obligated. Yes, thank you. I didn't want to mention anything. I wanted you to.
Yes, thank you.
And as you were so eagle-eyed, he did not slap his leg coming down.
Yep. He did not, because he's a heel now, right?
He's a heel now. He did not slap his leg.
RVD doing his RVD thumbs.
Yes, that's what he's known for.
I was just at a Super Bowl party on Sunday, and my buddy, I was in his basement watching there. There's a guy with the RVD sign in an Undertaker shirt in the crowd. That was crazy. But I was at the Super Bowl party.
What a twist in the Matrix that is.
Right. But my buddy had RVD though. He had the foam RVD thumbs in his basement, just chilling out. I'm like, you got these RVD thumbs? You could probably eBay these. Like, this is crazy.
Well, we could just give them to you.
Right. He's like, I just let my kids play with them. I'm like, oh, you're killing me.
Oh, you're killing me.
And I remember this match being, the way I remember it back in 01 was kind of more of a squash than it ends up being. I mean, it's actually Undertaker gives him quite a bit of offense as they do a collar and elbow tie up there in a hardcore title match.
Right? And if I remember correctly, I believe this is like one of the only hardcore title matches that there's no interference. It's like, right, it stays a one-on-one hardcore title match.
You don't have a million people running out trying to chase down the title like the 24/7 title.
Yeah. Undertaker treats it like it's an actual match.
Yes. Yeah, they do start off in the ring. RVD with a move here. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah,
look at that. That's something I might do into the pool. That dive off the top rope.
Yeah, I never really pictured this a squash match because, like you said, Van Dam gets a lot of offense, as we see here.
He does. He gets way more than I remembered anyway. RVD was kind of, he won the hardcore belt at Invasion, so he had it pretty much all summer, and minus, 5 or 6 days. He's had it since July. He kind of is the face of the hardcore division until he gets to the Undertaker, especially at a time where that thing was changing hands sometimes 5 times a night,
Yeah. Remember, I don't know when's the last time you saw it, but remember WrestleMania 2000, they had that hardcore gauntlet. Every time they pinned somebody, it was changing hands.
And it counted. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh, I thought he was gonna go for Snake Guys on the stairs.
No, he's going for the post, and then he ate the post. And then right there, he kicks him in the face, and JR's talking about his educated feet. One went to Harvard, one went to Yale. And it's funny that JR's commenting on this match, like this whole angle started because of him. And he's just like, he's over it,
This whole angle started because of him.
Yeah. He does. I don't believe he mentions the ass kissing or anything like that. He doesn't do any of that.
We're in the crowd now.
Yeah, now we're gonna get into like the hardcore part of the evening, I suppose.
Something you can't do nowadays with COVID times.
Yes, that's true.
I can't believe this is like 20 years ago and how much the world has changed.
Right. I think he's going to choke RVD with this Mexican flag here, which is awesome.
Yeah, here it goes.
It goes. As a fan, you got to love that. You got to love that. Like I had a Tommaso's gonna kill you. Ciampa's gonna kill you sign at ROH on Kevin Steen's one of his last nights was in Minnesota. Kevin Steen stole it from me and tore it in half, and I loved it. I loved it.
Oh yeah, that's a piece of history now. See, now you're on the Peacock network. You're on the tapes and everything of Undertaker using your flag to choke Rob Van Dam. It's a piece of WWE and Undertaker history.
Right. RVD using the environment around him there. He was jumping off the barricade to, attack the Undertaker. So he's kind of got to do that because Undertaker's got the size here. So RVD's got to use weapons and the environment around him. There's Taker grading his face.
A couple fans in the audience wearing the Jakks Pacific toy belts.
Yes.
Because that's a staple in any audience back then.
This might be around the time where Taker's saying RVD's getting his ass whipped. It's like my favorite part of this match.
Wow, that's your favorite part of the match.
Like when they're chanting RVD, RVD,
oh, yeah.
And he's like, RVD's getting his ass whipped. I love it. There it goes.
That's it.
I love it. I turned to my friends immediately at the live show that we were watching, and I was like, I'm buying this DVD. After he did that, I'm buying it. Oh, with the extinguisher. Now he can't see.
That's it, because he said that. I said, I'm buying this DVD.
Yeah, I was like, I have to have this DVD. I did buy it, yeah.
Do you still have it? That's the question.
I do. It's packed away because we're moving. So I think it's packed away, but I do have it. Heck yeah, that's a very prestigious hardcore championship victory. I can't give away that DVD. No way.
No, absolutely not.
Well, RVD's going to go up and do his best New Jack here and jump off of the balcony, I guess.
This is like something you would pull off in video games,
right? There he goes. Boom. And apparently they don't dust in that arena because there is just dust and dirt flying everywhere after RVD lands on him.
Yeah, it's like they just have like a pile of dirt there waiting.
They must not clean over there at the arena.
Oh.
Boom.
It was such a great spot. We got to show it 3 times.
I mean, RVD got a lot of offense in, more than I remembered. And I love at the end of the match, we'll see how Taker gives that look of like disbelief, like, whoa, what the hell is this guy? Was way harder than I thought he was going to be. He gives RVD that rub, I think.
Well, yeah, just by being in a match with the Undertaker, you get that kind of rub.
Yeah.
Because by this time, he can pick and choose opponents and what he would like to do.
I think they're on the other side of like the Titantron right now.
What an image would have been if he would have tossed Van Dam through the Titantron screen.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Like Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle, King of the Ring style, you know?
Just break the whole screen.
Leg drop, 1, 2.
So close.
Give him that headbutt.
One of the things I remember, I think it's coming up, is I think Van Dam grabs onto the stage here. We're trying to get a last ride.
Oh, Snake Eyes into the stage. Yeah, that last ride counter is awesome. I loved it.
Undertaker's like looking around like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, he's like drunk. Like, this guy's kicking my ass a little bit. I didn't think he'd be this hard. You know, I love that. It's the same look he gave after Shawn Michaels kicked out of that tombstone at WrestleMania 25, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here it comes. This is what I remember. It's one of the things I remember from this match.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That agile RVD. Nope. No last ride coming for you. Oh, I don't know, clothesline or a punch, whatever that was.
A vicious punch.
Yes. best pure striker in the game.
I like how the referee is just holding on to the title, like just bringing him where
match could end at any time.
It could end at any time.
And I think he goes for like a Van Daminator here, which is one of my favorite RVD moves. Oh, Rolling Thunder first. Boom. Come on, you're not going to beat the Undertaker for the hardcore title with a
Rolling Thunder.
Have to do better than that. Yeah. Here he goes with the chair. I love the Van Daminator. I love this thing. This little surfboard, whatever the hell.
Oh yeah. I used to love hitting this on people in video games.
Right. Now that's worth a pin. I don't think he's going to get it, but that was worth a pin. What does RVD got to do? Hit him with a car? Like, what do you got to do to beat this guy?
Hey, no need to pull a Rikishi here. Come on.
Taker with that chair shot to the back.
Not just any chair shot, as JR calls it, a hard chair shot.
Well, as we know, Taker doesn't discriminate. He pretty much pounds everybody with the chair.
Look at that chair. The chair's like bent.
Grabbing him by his ponytail. Van Terminator? Nope. Going for that choke slam. Boom. Through the table, off the stage. That will probably do it.
Probably.
Taker is drunk. Can't believe that this guy has been this tough. I thought Taker would jump and do an elbow here, but Taker does crawl down safely, and he gets the easy count to become the hardcore champion officially. He is selling the pain and the disbelief that RVD just brought the fight.
It would have done a flying elbow or a leg drop out of him.
Yeah, like I think that's how Kane won the hardcore title at WrestleMania 7. Just did that diving elbow off the stage.
Yeah, that's how Kane won it. Now both Brothers of Destruction are hardcore champions.
They have been very prestigious hardcore champions.
Yes, they have been.
And I believe JR is calling him Booger Red here, which that just, when you used to call him Booger Red, it would just drive me up a wall. I hated that nickname when JR would call him that. It's apparently like a cowboy term for outlaw. So I get what he was going for, but it just sounds dumb. And I think this is the first time he starts calling him Booger Red because he's got that short hair. Ugh, puke.
I know. I think Jerry Lawler brings him the task at WrestleMania about it. It's like, what is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah, can I ask you something, JR? What the hell is a Booger Red? He just takes that belt. RVD's still sleeping, and he just takes the belt and rides out of town, and that's it. And notice Taker doesn't do the old arm up because we don't care about that right now.
You don't care about that. He's a heel.
Right. That's right. And that's it. So Taker's your hardcore champion. He holds this for 58 days.
Wow, longer than some world titles that he's held.
Yeah, so he's held it for 58 days, one reign for 58 days. And that's I looked it up on all the combined reigns that people have. So like Crash Holly has, I don't even know, 55 reigns for however many days. Taker only has one reign for 58 days, but 58 days in the hardcore world is 8th best.
Wow, 8th best. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good for winning it one time, but he held it for a while like RVD did before him. He didn't lose it, every other day like Crash Holly and Hurricane and some of these guys did. God. So, and you're right, he did lose it to Maven on SmackDown in February of 2002, thanks to The Rock.
Yes.
The Rock interfered and set up their match at No Way Out 2002, which was 20 years ago today. Was
wow.
No Way Out 2002. I was there. It was my first pay-per-view, and it was in Milwaukee, and it was like a 5-hour drive one way, so 10 hours round trip. And we just got in the car and 6 a.m. on Sunday and drove out to Milwaukee. saw it, like had lunch, saw the pay-per-view, drove all the way home at like 11 at night when the pay-per-view was over, 5 hours back. So we got home at like 3, 4 in the morning, and then went, presumably went to class at 8 in the morning. I don't know if I actually did, but
no need to admit that on this podcast.
Right. So that was No Way Out 2002, 20 years ago today. But yeah, he lost it to Maven because of The Rock. And during his time as champion, though, he would defend the hardcore title against Spike Dudley, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Tajiri, mostly on Raw and SmackDown, obviously. So he had some successful title defenses that I really didn't remember before the whole Maven thing.
Yeah, that's quite the cast of characters.
And I looked, RVD would, he wasn't done with the hardcore title. RVD would win it back in August of 2002. And he would also be the final champion when the hardcore title was dissolved later on in 2002.
Wow, I was just going to say, yeah, he must have been one of the final ones, since I think that was retired that year.
He was kind of, I know Crash Holly was the face of the hardcore title because he won it so many times, but RVD was too, because he held it so long.
Yeah.
Was the final champion. So RVD would get it back. And what I found out, not only did RVD and the Undertaker face each other for the hardcore belt before this match, I didn't realize that they were going to face each other again 6 months from now in May of 2002. They face each other again for the the unified title once Taker wins that.
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember that too.
Yeah, so they RVD goes on from here to compete in the Royal Rumble match. Doesn't win anything, obviously. He feuds with William Regal over the IC belt at WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. And then come May, Taker wins at Judgment Day over Hogan and wins the unified title. And the next night on Raw, he's like getting ready to come out on Raw at the top of Raw and celebrate his unified title victory. And RVD comes out instead. So RVD kind of poo-poos on his parade there. And that sets up a unified title match for that very night after Taker wins it. And they did a Jericho Triple H finish from 2000. I don't know if you remember that, where they did the old, Rolling Thunder, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, RVD won the unified title. And then they show Taker's foot was on the rope. And then Ric Flair comes out and says, we got to restart the match. Last ride, 1, 2, 3, Taker retains. So RVD, between beating him in November, having a hell of a match with him.
I can't believe he has such a sordid history with Hot Fantastic.
I had no idea that they hooked up that many times. I mean, in addition to like the Survivor Series multi-man match and stuff, but I guess I didn't remember that they had a hardcore title match before this. They fought for the unified title. No memory or recollection of that at all. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I remember the unified, the Undisputed Championship match. Remember that with the foot on the rope. And I vividly, somewhat remember this match because whenever Undertaker wins titles, it's always something I like to go back and witness. Sure. Especially as I don't remember watching this live or anything. I may have not. So
I definitely did. Being in college at the time, we got at my buddy's parents' house. So we drive 20 minutes off campus to his parents' house, and we watched, I want to say like 30 pay-per-views in a row that weren't like over the holiday season when we're all gone, but like 30 pay-per-views in a row. It was crazy. So I definitely saw it live. Yeah.
Wow.
That was my collegiate experience, was going to their house for pay-per-views. And
wow. At least you got something out of college.
Right. Yeah. I owe my degree to Google and Yahoo, but everything else I was too busy with wrestling, and writing my own wrestling, doing my little fake fed. I remember being in class and everybody's taking notes, and I'm writing down like what I'm going to do at my SummerSlam.
Yeah. You're taking notes, but just not about what's on the chalkboard or anything like that.
Right. Not at all. Hilarious. So I looked up. So this is Taker's only undercard championship, as we said.
Yep.
So I just looked up, like, well, how many other chances did he really have to win one? So I looked it up just to see, and I'm sure there might be some I'm missing, but of the ones I could find, He had, of course, a chance at the United States Championship. This, I guess, would still be the NWA United States Championship when Mean Mark Callis lost to Lex Luger at Great American Bash 1990. Luger used that steel forearm and beat Mean Mark Callis about, 4 months before he was the Undertaker. So no U.S. title. That was his only shot at the U.S. title that I could find. No European title matches, none. He did have, as we just said, he did have a second hardcore championship match that I didn't realize in November against RVD. So he could have been a 2-time champ, but he
could have been.
He didn't win. He didn't win. Yep. And then the Intercontinental Championship. He had a couple of swings at that. He had at In Your House 6, Rage in a Cage. This is in February of 96. I think this is one of those dark matches after the main event for the live crowd, I think. He fought Intercontinental Champion Goldust.
Yep.
And he was dominating in pillar to post. I actually watched this match on YouTube. He was dominating in pillar to post. And then he choke slams him and he signals for the tombstone. And Goldust got the hell out of there. Goldust rolls out of the ring, gets Marlena, and they roll up the ramp, and he gets counted out, and the Undertaker wins, but not the title. So
I know he has a couple chances at Goldust. I think another one he gets Goldust gets DQ'd, and the other one, I think the final one is the casket match where Mankind interferes.
Yep, that was the next one I had was In Your House 8, Beware of Dog, and that's the one they did twice because of the power went out or whatever in the arena. So I guess, and this is May of 96, but Beware of Dog 1, Goldust casket match, lost because Mankind was in the casket. And then Beware of Dog 2, 2 days later, against Goldust, casket match, loss, Mankind was in the casket. You would think that he would be ready for that, being that this just happened 2 days before where Mankind was in the casket, but it's
you gotta pretend it didn't happen. The lights went never happened.
So a couple of losses there, and then his last chance at the Intercontinental belt came in 1997, early 97, February of 97, so it's appropriate for this show, against Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, on Shotgun Saturday night at Penn Station in New York.
The infamous tombstone on the escalator.
Yes, he lost by DQ when he tombstones Triple H on the escalator and lets him ride all.
You finish? You got DQ'd for tombstoning him on an escalator?
Yeah, I have lost by DQ. Tombstone on an escalator. Penn Station. So Undertaker was not able to procure the Intercontinental belt in any of those opportunities, unfortunately. And he doesn't make the weight class for cruiserweight, so I didn't even look for that.
No, he does not.
He's a little too big.
And I guess the only other one would have been the 2-man power trip match where the gold was on the line. If he would have pinned Triple H, he would have won the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that's true. I know you said you were kind of hoping for that a little bit. You wanted him to be world champion, but it would have been cool to get that IC.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been something like if they want to keep the title in Austin, but if they want to take it away from Triple H and give Undertaker a victory, it would have made him a Grand Slam champion eventually. So I was like, ooh, that would have been the perfect time right there.
Yeah, and that was in April of 01.
Yeah,
Chicago, right? Yeah. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But alas, he didn't win any of these, so we're not covering it this month.
Alas, yes.
With the undercard titles, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is one and done with the undercard title. What else can you say? It's a good match, and I thoroughly enjoyed it going back and watching this one. I loved it.
I loved that RVD got way more offense than I remember from 20 years ago. I mean, he got way more offense. He looked really good here.
Yeah, he really did.
He goes on, as you know, he goes on to unify the WWE and ECW titles before. Yeah, so I mean, he does okay, right? He does okay.
Wins the Money in the Bank. He wins the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 22, cashes it on John Cena at ECW One Night Stand. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yep. So he turned out okay, kid, right?
Yes, he did. He did.
He did all right. I was thinking about toys. We try to talk about toys from this era, and I know we've spent a lot of time in 01, so I don't know that there's any that we talked about, but like one that would have been perfect would have been the ringside exclusive WCW Tag Team Champion Undertaker if it would have got here. He's got the long hair, but he's got like the Deadman Inc. era shirts. He's got the beanie. He's got the leather pants. I didn't look and see if that thing has the hook on his pants. I hope it does, but he does have long hair, so it's a little off. But I mean, that's like from the right era. The only other thing I can think of was Elite 18, because Elite 18 has short hair, leather pants, but it's got the big red Evil Devil shirt, which is more of a 2002, which is where he's going here in the next couple of months. So that one's kind of close also, I guess maybe Elite 18.
Yeah, as you're going through these, I just remembered none of them come with a hardcore title.
Right.
In his Jack Pacific days, they never gave the Undertaker the hardcore championship as an accessory belt.
I did write it in my notes here. We need a good RVD's getting his ass whipped hardcore title exclusive. That's what we need.
We needed an Elite 2-pack, Undertaker and Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, I would. Well, especially after this, I would buy the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. If only that ringside exclusive would have came in time.
Yeah. Instead, we'll be talking about it probably maybe the April show, maybe the May show, depending on how early it comes.
Yeah, depends. We can only hope.
Yeah, I hope it. Well, see, I'm moving, so I hope it comes before I have to change my address with Ringside.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, just cancel the order and reorder it.
Yeah, no joke. I'll have to watch out for that. I think it'll get here before then, though.
Hopefully.
February moments. I looked up some February moments of the Undertaker.
Yep.
Because we are in February. I thought some good ones, and some of them you might have talked about on the main show, the A show, the mothership, if you will. But I thought about those 2/21/11 promos. Do you remember those vignettes?
Yes.
Back in 2011 with that dilapidated cabin in the rain, and everybody was talking about like who it is, and was it the Undertaker? Was it Sting? Some people actually thought it was Kevin Nash, which I think is hilarious. I don't know why that would make them think of Kevin Nash, but it did. And of course it was the Undertaker. And he came out and didn't even get a chance to speak before Triple H cut him off. And then here comes Triple H. And then they had that famous no words promo, and just looked at the wrestling sign. So I do remember those 2/21/11 vignettes with that cabin, and that, I fully believed it was the Undertaker. I didn't know if it would be Sting or not, or if it was talking about Undertaker and Sting, but I knew it was going to be the Undertaker. So I remember being so excited that he came back. Yeah, and as I've said here, I'm one of I think I'm the only person on planet Earth that did not. I didn't want Undertaker Sting like everybody else did. Like, if they ever hooked up, it would have been cool because they're both awesome. But I don't see them as like the same gimmick. I don't know. I just don't. They both wear black. I mean, they got that going for them. But
I wouldn't have liked. I agree. I don't think I would have liked it either.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been like two awesome legends at it.
I see it as it's too divisive for people to pick.
Sure.
You got people who love Undertaker, you have people who love Sting, and you're forcing people to pick.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just feel like they wouldn't have meshed as well as people think they would have.
Yeah. I don't know how their chemistry in the ring would have been. Everybody thinks like, oh man, it's like Goth God versus Goth God, and I'm like, they both wear black. That's about the end of the comparison.
Yeah, it's like, everybody wants Goldberg Austin. No, you don't want Goldberg Austin. No, Goldberg will not mesh well with Austin's fighting style. No.
How do you feel about the rumors about Austin getting in the ring at 57 to face Kevin Owens?
I mean, I love Austin as much as the next guy. but he hasn't fought in 20 years.
I know. I feel like it's almost too late. I appreciate what Edge has done and what Brian Danielson have done. But I feel like in the case of Steve Austin, he's 57 and it has been a long time. Now, Kevin Owens can help carry him. But man, it's been a long time. And I don't know if you want to go in there and do a Shawn Michaels, Saudi Arabia type thing. Like sometimes it's just good to leave it alone.
Yeah, and also there's no storyline. I mean, with Michaels, he was in Triple H's corner for that Undertaker match. He had all that history with Undertaker and Triple H. He was pulled into this with that, with how he was disrespected at the end of that match and everything. So it was okay to see him, but just pulling Austin out of thin air to face Kevin Owens, it's ridiculous.
You do the stunner, I do the stunner. That's basically where that's where we're going.
Make a match out of that. Kevin Owens goes for a stunner, he's reversed, and it's like the quickest match in WrestleMania history. I'll show you, Rock.
And maybe that's what it has to be with his age and his rust and his injury. Of course, you don't want anything to happen to his neck. I just don't know if that sounds like a great idea, but they know more than I do, I suppose. Other moment I had was the Elimination Chamber, and I think you might be talking about that this week. Elimination Chamber 2010.
Yeah, not only will I be talking about the Chamber, I have the 221 moments coming up on this. Yeah.
I'm ruining everything.
No, because this is dropping after the episode. So.
There you go. That Elimination Chamber, I'll let you cover the match, on the mothership, if you will. But I just was talking about that. That was the
all
time.
All of them. 08, 09, and 10.
Yeah.
All of them.
You've been covering him, but that was the one. 10 was when he was burned, right?
Burned, and he was a champion.
And coming out, and I guess he had been telling the pyro guy for weeks, like, "Hey man, those are a little close. Back him off." And he didn't ever back him off. And Taker finally got engulfed in the flames. And so Taker talked about on his Steve Austin interview on the network or the Peacock. He's talking about how you can see his skin bubbling as he's standing in this pod. So he's pouring like bottles of water on himself, but it's not helping all that much. And he had to go in there with like 1st and 2nd degree burns and do this 35-minute match. And he never missed a beat, man. And you could have fooled me, and he had to drop his belt and he had to get on this angle with Michaels and he had to get it done. And he did.
I mean, constant professional.
Although he did come back, and I guess he did come back and tell Vince, like, that MF is fired and I never want to see him again or I'm going to kill him.
I think I heard a story that Vince fired him before Undertaker can get back there.
Right, like, go get in a moving car. Go. Yeah, go.
Vince fired him before Undertaker can get back there because, there's no coming back from that.
No, I totally agree. Especially if Taker told the guy back it off, and the guy never backed it off, so could have killed somebody. I didn't find any good Valentine moments. Maybe you did. I couldn't find any good Valentine. Like, there was no like.
The only thing I have is Undertaker on Valentine's Day cards, which I was talking about.
Yes.
And the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which was last week's episode.
Right.
Him appearing at the pay-per-view to start the Big Boss Man, abducting the Boss Man, putting him on the symbol, and starting the WrestleMania program up. That's it.
I didn't find any good like ho 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 moments like we found at Christmas. So nothing good there, but I did find, as we talked about on Twitter, he didn't get a Valentine. He didn't talk about Valentines, but he did beat the hell out of a Valentine when he pinned Greg Valentine on October 1991's Primetime Wrestling. Greg Valentine had him down in the figure 4. I don't know that Taker would have submitted.
They went from team partners at Survivor Series to fighting each other on Superstars a year later. Oh, the travesty this is.
Right. Yeah, he had him in the figure 4, and I don't know if Taker would have tapped, but because this is zombie Taker that doesn't like show pain, but like he has him in the figure 4, and then he just because I watched the match recently, and he lets go voluntarily. He like lets go and lets him out of it, and Taker pretty much gets up and scoops him up for a tombstone, and that's it.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's 1991 for you, but B, I'm like, why would he let go of that hold? Like, didn't last very long, Greg Valentine. So I even did a deep dive to see, are there any other Greg Valentine Taker matches?
You are a braver man than I. To
There
do
were
a deep
none.
dive into Greg the Hammer Valentine matches, see if there was any more Undertaker.
Yeah, maybe house shows, but there were none on any kind of TV except for, like you said, Survivor Series when they teamed up, and then a year later where he got buried pretty easily.
Huh? You win some, you lose some. You're sometimes on the high and sometimes on the lows.
That's all I had for February.
Yeah, that's basically all I have too. You know, it's a bit of a slow month in terms of Undertaker memories and everything like that.
Yeah, I did wear my
nice.
Yeah, my loved by a few, hated by many, respected by all shirt. I think I've worn it on the pod before, but I wore it today because this is the shirt that was like going on right now during that's what Taker wore at this pay-per-view, and
that's the shirt it creates, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's like, what a great mod. Like, put this on my tombstone, right? Like, right? Like, seriously, that's a great motto. So I remember, I wish it wasn't so big. It's like a 1XL, I think, but it's one of my favorite Taker shirts. I love it.
You didn't know what you were doing back then. You just buying sizes.
I've said it before. Taker, the Deadman gimmick, I think, was better, but I do feel like in my heart of hearts, the American Badass shirts were better. Even though I like the Deadman gimmick better, the shirts he had so much more freedom to have different stuff on his shirts than when you're the Deadman, you're kind of in a corner.
That's true.
Yep. I love the Deadman shirts, like Deadman Inc. I'll Make You Famous. This one, the Big Red Evil Devil one, I got that one too.
Yeah, they're all great. I can't think of a badass shirt.
That red Big Evil one that I wore to the CM Punk Rampage, so I could see myself.
Yeah, the red hoodie.
Yeah, I just want to find that. There's that one. The last badass shirt is that he had for like Survivor Series 03. Is that?
Oh yeah, the Grim Reaper, right, with the hourglass.
Yeah, it's like Big Evil Worldwide or something, and it's got like the Grim Reaper, the skeleton guy, and his fist, and I'm like, it's another black shirt. It's not red or anything, but I'm like, I am after that last biker shirt. But so far, no mediums, and they're damn sure not like $50. They're much more, so I'm not gonna buy it. Or people will post it and it is $50, but it looks like an old dish rag. I'm like, I'm not buying that either. No. All right, I got a new house coming. I'll just wait it out, just like you talk about. It's good for my wallet.
Yeah, good for my wallet, just saving up for that eventual display and everything like that.
Yes.
You get the deal. You get the deal when it comes.
You've been on a drought for a couple of weeks. Did you get anything this week?
I got a couple of fun things. I got a Undertaker dog tags from like 1996. It has that old New Generation logo.
Yes.
I got the Undertaker squirt head, which I talked about, like, I can't remember how many episodes back, about how atrocious it is. Well, I finally succumbed to getting the Undertaker squirt head.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're not going to get it.
No, it doesn't mean I'm not going to get it. Just Undertaker yo-yo and a couple of other.
Does that talk when you press a button?
It lights up.
That's what it is. Yeah, I think I had that in the past. Yep.
It lights up. And a couple of Undertaker school folders brought me back. They're the ones I had when I was a kid.
Amazing. Yes.
Bringing them to Catholic grade school, Undertaker school folders.
Nice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of going to, I would go to, with my best friend in high school and college when I was home on break. He and I would go with his family to Saturday Mass. And then after Saturday Mass, we'd all go out to eat, and then we go to the movies or something. But you got to go to Mass first before the good stuff, right? And Saturday Mass in the Catholic Church, depending on where you're at, you can dress down a little bit. You don't have to wear a suit or slacks. You could just wear jeans and your t-shirt, So we would just go. And I'll never forget one of them Saturdays, we rolled into, and we drove separately from the parents sometimes. We would just show up at 5 and then we'd follow them to the restaurant afterwards. My buddy and I, we roll into Catholic Mass, and they're already singing the first hymn, and we're getting bad looks from his mom. Like she is like looking at us like, but she can't say anything because mass has started, and we just the whole hour she's just giving us the evil eye, and we're like, man, what's going on? And we finally get outside the church after the hour. We got read the riot act because we walked into church. I'm wearing the Undertaker, and my buddy's wearing Arizona State Sun Devils. We're like walking into church, like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. My bad. All these old ladies, all these blue hairs, probably have no idea. It's okay. They're dead now. It's fine.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No response on the no response yet for me.
No response here either. It looks like it's gonna be a social media update.
It's like when they would run angles in wrestling, and they'll be like, man, we'll try to get you an update before we go off the air, but if not, check the .com.
That's right. And we're gonna have to pull here, check our social medias to see if we are able to secure the Undertaker gingerbread man.
Yeah.
But
if we don't get it, I'm gonna blame you, because I was thinking 17 and you said 15. So if we don't get it, I'm blaming you.
Gotta get a deal.
Well, I think you're right though. If the idea is hopefully he'll take it, and if he does, great. And even if he counters at 16, we're still better off.
Exactly. You can always go up. You can't go down.
Right. So what are you thinking? Last thing I have. What are you thinking for our next venture? I listed out.
This is
some rough estimates. I mean, sure, some of these don't have. We won't have footage, so I'm sure the numbers aren't perfect. But just to give us a rough draft, a rough idea, I took First Blood match 2, casket / coffin match 17. Maybe we can do a couple of those early ones together to not have it be 17. Buried Alive 4, Hell in a Cell 13, Inferno 1,
2.
Maybe that's a 2. I can't read my own writing. I did little tally marks. Last Ride match 2, Elimination Chamber 3, right?
Yep.
Then a whole host of them that just are one-offs. TLC 1, Boneyard 1, Body Bag 1, Boiler Room Brawl 1, Punjabi Prison 1, Ladder Match 1, RIP Match 1, Armageddon Match 1, Biker Chain Match 1. So
we're gonna have to do Giant Gonzalez
in this RIP match, which I'm still not really sure what the difference between that and just a no holds barred match, other than the wreath.
The wreath makes all the difference.
So I don't know how you want to we could do alphabetical. We could start off with the one-offs and get rid of them. We could start off with all the ones that have more than one and get rid of those first and then do the one-offs. Or we could pick 4 or 5 and leave it to a vote. If anybody's listening or cares, they could vote and tell us what to do to start it.
What were you thinking? How do you want to start this off?
It's almost like we should start off with, I was thinking maybe some of the ones that are not one-offs that have at least 2. And then, I mean, we could put it to a vote if anybody wants to vote or care, but maybe leave off the vote, the 2 big ones, 17 casket matches, 13 Hell in a Cells. Maybe we don't start with that one. But the ones with like 4 or 2 or 3, I mean, there's Inferno, Last Ride, Elimination Chamber, Buried Alive, First Blood. I mean, there's a couple in there that we could start with that wouldn't automatically start off with a 17-month odyssey for the casket matches.
Oh my God. And plus, if we do all that, it's every month's a casket match. So yes. Let's say, well, see, we're starting in March. So I say let's start with First Blood.
Okay.
And that would be Fully Loaded 1999, if I'm correct.
Yep, that's one of them. I don't remember what the other one is. Do you?
Survivor Series 06 with Mr. Kennedy, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Look at you. killing it.
He loses both of them, but
spoilers.
Well,
but that's good though. I think that's good. It's like a 2. It'll be 2 months. It won't be 17 months.
Yeah.
And those are both things that we have footage for.
Yep.
Some of these I'm not 100% sure. I was just rolling down like I forget what the website is, that wrestling database.
And then what we can do is, since he loses these 2, we can go to the Inferno afterwards where he wins both of them.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. We can do that. And we'll eventually, as we get further along, we'll talk about like what I talked about with the Talking Taker guys. By the way, Plugski, I was on Talking Taker.
I was going to leave that to the end where you can plug where you're going to be next. So please give your plug where they can hear you other than here.
Yeah, no, Talking Taker, they put up the bat signal for me once or twice a year, which is awesome that they remember me and include me. I love being on their show. So Alex had this great idea for the Ministry of Darkness draft. So kind of like a fantasy football draft, but for Ministry of Darkness. And we each get our own version of the Ministry of Darkness where we each get Undertaker. Nobody has to fight.
I was going to say, do you each get the Undertaker? Because if you don't, heads will roll.
Right. No, we each get Taker, but other than Taker, you have to go through and draft. You can draft any wrestler from any time.
Oh, okay. So not 1999.
Any federation, any time, and they just have to fit the Ministry of Darkness aesthetic. So you can't pick like The Rock, John Cena, Hulk Hogan. Like that's not gonna be Ministry.
Personally, I don't think it could get any better than what he had.
Right. Well, we were going through and picking. I don't want to spoil anything, but there were some picks like everything from like Darby Allin and current AEW all the way back to. We're reaching back. Some of us reached back to like the very early 80s.
Wow.
WWE. We reached into Japan a little bit. All 3 of us were kind of all over the place, and it was kind of cool.
I cannot wait to hear is this going to be the March episode?
Yep, it'll drop on March 1st or probably the day before. I know Alex usually drops it a few hours before if you're paying attention. So. And then it's going to be a 12-person, everybody gets a 12-person ministry. That includes, you have to draft at least 1 woman. So you can draft more than 1 woman.
Oh, because with China, is that the one?
You could draft, anything from like Abaddon and AEW, she would fit. China, you can make an argument for China. Sensational Sherry. Anything that would fit maybe the ministry aesthetic. Luna Vachon.
A 12-person ministry.
And you have to draft at least 1 manager type person. So a Paul Bearer, Paul Ellering, Kevin Sullivan type, And then you have to draft a 1 tag team, which is kind of like in fantasy football, you draft a team's defense. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos defense. So on tag team, you get 1 tag team that you can say, I want these 2 guys as my tag team, and get 2 people with that pick. So you could say, I want the APA, or I want blanking on a dark tag team, the Powers of Pain. Right. So
I cannot wait to listen to this episode. I want to hear who and how everybody chose.
And I think what Alex is going to do, Alex and Travis are going to put up a poll after a couple days after the episode drops.
The best one.
Who picked the most outlandish, awesome Ministry of Darkness out there? Just going off the wall. So we'll see who did it. It was a fun little episode. It was probably like our shows that we do. It's about an hour, maybe. Actually, it was a little over an hour. I think maybe it was an hour and a half. But it was a fun thing to do, and it was just something completely different. No watch along, nothing like that. It was just doing something out of the ordinary. And I even asked Alex, do you want to wait until the NFL draft gets here in May, late April, early May? Like we can drop it then, like when everybody's doing NFL draft, we can do ministry draft. And Alex is like, no way, man. This is I'm so excited to do this. Let's do it now. And I'm glad that he did it now because it was so much fun.
I love it. I cannot wait to hear it. And if anybody listening has not already subscribed and checked out the amazing library of episodes, please make sure to check out the predecessor to the Collecting Deadman podcast, Talking Taker. Alex and Travis are wonderful people, wonderful Undertaker fans. I've been on their episode, I've been on their show a couple times. Always looking forward to going back. It's great episodes to listen to, and that's where this was all possible with you, with Randy and myself. This whole possible because of Talking Taker.
Yeah, you've been on there twice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been on there 3 times. I just got to stay in front of you.
Okay. Yes. You always got to stay in front of me.
They usually put it up a couple times a year. So like I did October, and I did.
You're always gonna have one in front of me.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll put up maybe we'll get to late summer or something, and they'll put the bat signal out again. We'll see. But when I was on with them, they were the ones that suggested like, hey, when you guys do whatever you want to do, but you guys roll through some of those. I think the Hell in a Cells are all pretty substantial. They're all pretty long, big matches, but like some of those early casket matches are, 5 minutes, 1991, 1992.
Kamala. Who else did he have those early ones with?
I think he had one on the He Buries Them Alive DVD or tape.
Yeah. You have Kama, Yokozuna.
Yeah. Forget if it was Jim Neidhart or if it was Jerry Lawler on that tape, but he had one like that. So they're thinking like the 5-minuters like that, like, you guys might want to do maybe 2 for one show, like combine a couple.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, because I was telling them, I was like, there's 17 casket matches that I counted. That
the thing I was thinking of, since I was thinking of the Hell in the Cells and the caskets, we split them. So we do like a group of casket matches. We do something else, then we can come back to the casket matches. So it's like you're breaking up the casket matches.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't want people to have like, Barfarama sick of Hell in the Cells.
Yeah. So you have like maybe 4 or 5 casket matches. You go to do like a couple Hell in the Cells, more casket matches, more Hell in the Cells.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe these one-offs that I have this long list of one-offs, maybe that's a nice break. You do 3-4 months of caskets, and then we'll go do a body bag match with the Warrior.
Hey, if I can find footage of it, we're doing it.
I feel like that's got to be on at least YouTube. I feel like it.
It has to be.
And I don't know that if I've seen footage of that, if I've watched it, it was a long time ago. So it'll be a new one for me, kind of. That's the feud that started it all for me, was the Warrior getting locked in that casket. And I never got to see the blow off because I'm 10. I don't know. I can't see Madison Square Garden, obviously. So it was a feud with the payoff. So hopefully it'll be fun to cover that one, and the bone, do 4 or 5 Hell in a Cells, do the Boneyard match, something like that.
Wow. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the look back at his gimmick matches.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Too. And if by all means, if there's something on my list that I am missing and you find one, let me know, because I am open to doing it.
I think that's I have a long weekend coming up, so I think that's a good time to compile the list and plan out the schedule, see where we go from here.
Off topic on the Undertaker. President's Day, you said long weekend. President's Day is Monday.
Yes.
Your take on President's Day. Are we just celebrating Washington and Lincoln because their birthdays are both in February? They're so close together, they combined it into President's Day, or are we celebrating all presidents?
My take?
Yes.
All presidents.
Yes.
It's President's Day.
Love it. Me being a John F. Kennedy guy, I love it. I've been telling people that for years. Some people will tell me, I think it's just for Lincoln and Washington because of their birthdays. And I'm like, that is blasphemy, and I will not hear it,
Well, it's technically, if they want to take it that way, it's only Washington, because that's actually Washington's birthday. That's where it falls on.
That actual day this year. Okay.
No.
Either way, I'm happy to not have to go to work.
It's President's Day.
Yes, I'm happy to be off of work. I don't care. I'm good.
Yes. And President's Day will probably be where this episode drops. It'll be dropping on President's Day.
Nice.
So if you are listening on President's Day when this episode drops, enjoy your day off and celebrate all the presidents that have come before us.
This episode is dedicated to Jack Tunney, former WWF president.
And Gorilla Monsoon.
Yes. Gorilla Monsoon. Who can predict
Jack Tunney and Gorilla Monsoon.
Yes.
And sometimes Linda McMahon.
Whenever she feels like showing up.
Whenever she feels like showing up and acting like WWF president. This one's for you, Linda.
To that old WrestleMania music. That's her theme song.
Nostalgia. Anything else on your notes before we close out?
No, sir. We're all set. Next month, First Blood.
Okay. You heard it here, folks. Next month, as we get started on the long journey through Undertaker's gimmick matches, we start off with one of my favorites, fully loaded 1999 First Blood match, as the Undertaker contends for the WWF Championship against Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as I said, it's one of my favorite ones to look back at, even though the Undertaker, spoiler, loses. It's just a fun match. It's a fun Attitude Era match with Vince McMahon on commentary and all the shenanigans in between. I cannot wait until then. So thank you again, Randy, for joining me for this whole look back through our tag titles and the one undercard title. And as we get started on this new journey through the gimmick matches, I wouldn't choose anybody better.
Thanks. Yeah, I love being here. And as I texted you earlier last week, I guess, I'm counting like about 51 matches here. So as any president, we'll get to President's Day, as any president would say, 4 more years of Randy. 4 more years.
And then after this is done, I can say as a quote of one of my favorite presidents, are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
4 years ago. God knows what we'll do after this 4 years is up, but we'll figure it out.
If we're not sick of each other, then we'll think of something else.
That's right.
Until next time, Randy, I thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And then, as I always say, join us here next time, same Taker time, same Taker channel, and keep on rolling, baby. As always, take care.